Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this big and beautiful world of ours we call Earth. You're tuned in to Final Fantasy XIV Misadventures on twitch.tv/HomoHomo2093, a designated non-spoiler stream brought you in living color by the Bell and Baltic Avenue, bellandba.blogspot.com. This is your host, Monk Boy Pongitoid, the gift that keeps on giving. You're tuned into a special episode of the Dawntrail Trials. This is my wife, Kahori Harukawa. Say hi to everybody on Twitch. Today is the day. Dark Knight is going to be leveled all the way to 100. We're just a few million EXP away from reaching level 99 on Dark Knight. And what's going to happen, we're going to start by doing some Tribal Society quests. Then we're going to go ahead and do our set of bill hunts. And then we're going to go ahead and top off by finishing things by doing some fates. And once we get to 100, that's it for this stream. So this is supposed to be a short live stream, which will allow us to get us all the way to 100. Our next live stream, if truth be told, is going to be a playthrough of Honkai Star Rail Misadventures. The Amphorius story nears. We were building pity for the Herta, and a new path for Stell Trailblazer is going to be taking place. The Path of Remembrance. She's literally going to be a summoner with her new buddy Mem joining in the fray, allowing her to unleash some new special attacks and abilities. If you like what you see in this broadcast, hit the follow button on Twitch Player, subscribe button on YouTube under my channel ID, BongoBoy151. Alright. Hey, you ready? Okay, let's go. Let's get going here. I'm gonna go ahead and head straight over to Dogpoga and get started. If you see any voice lines, it's in Japanese. In the background, we'll be doing some background commentary from some other content providers and hear their thoughts on their progress in the game. We may also be putting in some background music from other videos that I have created over on my YouTube channel. There's a lot of music videos there. And and also some stuff that is not game related. So I have been on a spree this last week to start the new year with some gaming live streams, some music videos, and other stuff. So here we go. Let's get to it. Let's finally close the lid on Dark Knight on this special episode of Final Fantasy XIV Misadventures Dawntrail Trials. Enjoy.
People? 짜잔! People?
Who's ready to cook? So if you've been following along on my streams with Final Fantasy XIV, you know that I have just entered into Shadowbringers, and I just watched the trailer, and I need to let you guys know of the 3-course meal that I'm about to cook up for you.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Just by watching that trailer, knowing where we were at in the story, and kind of my thoughts and predictions. So I'll go through the live reaction that I did on stream the other day, as well as my thoughts as I'm going through the breakdown, the analysis of the trailer, as well as my thoughts of where we will go afterwards. Now, as I say this, everything here is going to be spoiler related, so if you have any inclination for the story thus far up into Shadowbringers, I will be dropping spoilers up throughout there, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, let's get into it. Here we go. All right. I'm not going to talk, by the way. Wreck ship.
How many years have come and gone since that day?
looks so cool. Oh my god, the graphics.
For the one they called.
For the
Warrior of light.
That was the 1.0 trailer where he was in a bar. This music is so awesome. Holy crap. No life yet to live. Who the hell is that? Oh, she ain't friendly. The change to a warrior! That was so cool! Gridania. That's gotta be what, just past Veltar's wall? That's Orianja.
This fate or defy it, and we cannot deny it.
Look at his graphics! Did he say?
I am not wont to run from my troubles.
What? Oh, the Dragoon! That was such a cool transition! I'm getting my ass kicked! Holy hell! Oh my god, I'm getting my face pushed in! Y'shtola.
Our friend returns. I will hold the line.
But he said Matoya. Oh, look at those fat cats. Literally. But he said Matoya. I know that hair. That's Thancred hair. And that's a Gunbreaker blade.
This town certainly has changed. I'm not at all different.
That's a gun. Yeah, he's a Gunbreaker now? Oh, that was so cool. The transition with the gun. The reload.
Anywhere. I promise you, Minfilia.
Minfilia? What the hell is happening? Guys, I'm so stressed out right now. Oh my god. Oh, hey, Dancer. Stream isn't PG anymore. And also Vieira Dancer. She winked at me. The cat girl, or the bunny girl winked at me.
This tragedy, greater even than the seventh umbral calamity, must be undone.
Samurai.
If history must be unwritten, let it be unwritten.
This lady is absolutely just kicking our teeth in.
Become you must.
Dark Knight! Oh, that's such a cool transition into the Dark Knight! scaring the piss out of my dog. All right, so it goes ahead and opens up, of course. We have the initial scene right there of the Garlean battle, the push, the main push waiting for Xenos to come out, which of course we all know is possessed by Elidibus, or is being driven by Elidibus. So he has like all of Xenos' powers, but then also Elidibus like shadow energy, so or Ascan shadow energy. So that was actually a really interesting bit to see Garlean with magic. Of course,
years have come and gone since that day.
So I had to listen to this a couple of times, but how many days and years have gone since that particular day? And it sounds like this is coming from the point of view of Xenos at this point. This is what I had to listen to it a couple of times. Actually, I'm going to put these on. Lisa's broken face mask.
How many years have I waited for this moment?
Cool samurai charge.
For the one that stood alone against the storm.
Epic moment between the two. Really wish samurais could do. The Warrior of Light.
The Warrior of Light.
So, I wanted to actually look at this because as the flag dropped, I wanted to see if I can get a better picture. Can't really tell what flag that is, because it's fully engulfed on flames. But judging by the background, I would say that it's a white flag. It looks like I'm taking a shot and I'm kind of like, that's symbolizing the fall of the Garleans, fall of the Garlean Empire. Because when we get a zoom in of all these flags, we don't really have a white flag. Those are all colored, but then we have that. Then we have like the white flag of the Garleans, and then we look at this. Wait for it. Here it comes. Let's see if we can pause it on time. Still a white flag right there. So that right there is, I feel like that's a line of symbolism, because right after, right before all of this, we saw that Xenos, driven by Elidibus, the emissary, had to go back and talk to his dad and do all this. And then right after that, Xenos, who was possessed, who is somehow inhabiting an Elysian resistance fighter, that right there tells me that he's going back to do something to the Garlean Empire. Maybe to get his body back. Maybe he's going to try to find a way to kick Elidibus out and repossess his body. I also think that he's going to find a way to mess somehow with his dad, because his dad has been relatively uncaring at this point, right? His dad has been like, yep, my son died, whatever, move on. And that's a big deal. That's a very big deal. Cool.
For the one they called.
Such a cool scene. Sucks that we got our head bashed in.
The Warrior of Light.
One brings shadow, one brings light. One brings shadow, one brings light. I actually think that this is going to be kind of like a juxtapose of what we are supposed to do, right? I had a chance to sit there and think about a lot of the pre-patches, which were talking about the calling. People were called, scions were called. And a lot of the times, it was almost like they were drawn away from this particular world. The scions were called from this particular realm. What I'm thinking, kind of like looking at this from this point of view, is that they were called away for a reason, and the Exarch, the Crystal Exarch, or however you want to call it, called us to his timeline, to that particular timeline, or to that different world. I don't think it's actually a timeline. I think it's the world of the first, where the Warriors of Darkness came from. I think he pulled the Scions out of there because a lot of when we were being called, a lot of the dialogue was, this path will lead to calamity. This path will lead to, utter destruction. And it's like, it's almost as a warning. And only the Scions were called, which kind of like leads me to believe that there is something we need to be removed from the equation in this world, in our world, for it to be essentially like saved. We need to let things happen the way that they're happening and then come back, because I think a lot of what is being said is that if we continue pressing against the Garlean Empire, that we are going to either eventually cause a win, or Varus is going to go back crap crazy and use the Black Rose Plague and kill everyone. Like, and both will lead to a calamity, or basically an end of all days. So some plot theories, but we have all the flashbacks of all that we've done over the past couple of years. But listen to this guy's line, this little guy's line. Weary wanderer. No fight left to fight. That is the same kind of thought process in lines. Because look where we are. This is supposed to be, I'm guessing, in the world of the First. If you're looking in the world of the First, where the Warriors of Darkness came from, they said that there was no fight left to fight. They had won. They had done everything that they should have. And it still wasn't enough. Their world was being consumed by an all, like, encompassing light. And then we're looking at this light where we are, and, you know, like, it is super duper bright. This guy's even mocking us, saying, like, haha, you know, you won, but at what cost? Like, you fought away all the evil, but you let too much light in, and there wasn't enough darkness. And I think that's part of the idea, looking at, like, even Elidibus, which is at least the emissary, very said, is like, we need to make sure that balance is kept. You know, we need enough shadow and we need enough light. There needs to be that balance, or we get situations like this where it's just everything gets all encompassed and light is everywhere. And then the angel comes down. For a moment, with all of these like little golden feathers that are floating around, I called it out on a stream. I was like, is that freaking Kefka? What the hell is Kefka doing? If you did the Savage version of the Omega raids, then you would see Kefka. Kefka would be there, and the I can't remember. I think it was like the Wing 2 or raid number 2. When he comes down, he's floating gold. He's like a golden angel like that. For a second, I was like, "Is that Kefka?" Chat said no. Chat said don't have a good time. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Holy angel, right? Absolutely obliterated. And this was such a cool transition. The transition into the warrior fading backwards, dragging his axe to slow his fall. Like, that was such a cool. Who are you? No one. Nothing. And right here, this is the 12's Woods. I'm like, with most 100% certainty, 95% confidence that this is the 12's Wood. And this is in Gridania and all that. This is right over the line over at Baelsar's Wall. Over into where essentially the Eorzean Alliance is, Seed Seers, whatever you want to call them. And this is like the initial push. And at one point in the lines coming up, they talk about, like, we need to wait for our friend to come back. So this is our world. This is the calamity that our world is having. And it's utter chaos and fire and destruction. And that's kind of where it's that line from whoever was calling us. I think it's the Exarch. The line was sitting there saying, or the Exarch was saying, hey, you know, this way will lead to calamity, and this is part of the calamity, whether it be the Black Rose, which is killing and infecting people, or just everything exploding. Listen.
What sayest thou, Master Matoya?
What sayest thou, Master Matoya? Right there, in my mind, 100%, because you know who this is going to be. You either recognize either the staff, or here in a minute you get the face reveal of who it is. We do realize that it is Y'shtola. It is the body of Y'shtola. Remember, Y'shtola's body is in perfect perseverance. All the scions are perfectly preserved, but all their souls have been pulled out of this world, and we don't know where they are. They just got yoinked straight up. We know for a fact because he just confirms that that's Master Matoya piloting Y'shtola's body, meaning that she took over her younger compatriot to battle whatever's coming up because, well, I mean, Master Matoya is very old and probably not as sprightly as she used to be. That same line, that same thought process would have us looking at Urianger here and say, who is Urianger? Who is piloting Urianger? And I don't necessarily have a good answer. I've been sitting there thinking about who would be like an obvious answer who could take over his body and be here ready to help and like essentially assist in the situation. I don't have a good answer. That's one question mark I have. I have a really big question mark with this one.
We may accept this fate or defy it, but we cannot deny it.
Also, by the way, everyone in my chat, every single person's like, oh god, he's hot! And it's like, the dude looked like a closeted, like, nerd for, like, the longest time, and then he took off his hood, and everyone's like, woo! Woo!
I'm wont to run from my troubles.
So, right here we're seeing the breaking of this weapon, and we see each one of the weapons essentially just like not powerful enough. It's supposed to be, in my mind, the symbolism that the war, you have to change everything, your direction, your thought process for everything that we're about to deal with. Like battling something of light with as a warrior, as a dragoon, as a monk, as a samurai, all these different jobs that the Derpland, or whatever you want to call him, has done is not enough, and every one of the weapons breaks immediately. And that to me is like, that's a line of symbolism that like he needed to change, because these were usually considered the weapons of light, everyone that I listed, but we need darkness. Also, I got to give it to the dragoon. Like the dragoon, I love the dragoon as a melee. I'm sorry, it is like one of my favorites. I've looked at like the Viper, yeah, that's cool, monk, samurai, all those ninja. Dragoon is the best in my mind, 100% the best. Anyway, just have to say. Cool fist to the face. Listen.
Until our friend returns, I will hold the line.
That right there was, until our friend returns, I will hold the line. Meaning that they all know, our group knows, the Scions, whatever's left of the Scions, so I'm thinking like Coeurl and all them, Master Matoya, all know that this is just where we are. This is, this is a situation that we're in, and we're doing the best that we can. We got to wait until he's done doing whatever he's doing to fix this problem. So whatever we're doing in the first is echoing into our realm. And then also, real quick, I wanted to freeze frame this, because looking at this from this point of view, I mean, like, I had some time to think about this, and it looks like this is all squalor, and this is all, like, goodliness, godliness, whatever you want to call it, but riches, and all the gold and the spires. It makes me think that this is Ul'dah, but, like, in the future, or in a different timeline. That Ul'dah is this, like, glowing golden place. This is kind of my thought looking at it, because then we get to zoom in. Wait, hold on. Maybe if I can go back, because it looks like there's, like, ships off over here into the other side, which, of course, that would indicate Limsa. I mean, that would be the main thought, is like, okay, if there's ships, it's going to be Limsa Lominsa. But I'll show you what leads me to believe that this is more Ul'dah more than anything, because this doesn't recognize as any of Limsa's main structures. Maybe? I don't know. So we got all these Mikotes who are just absolutely chonkers, the fat cats. They're all drinking the good food and eating all that. But we zoom all the way down, and we have Thancred and who we get confirmed as Minfilia. So these two right here makes me think that it's Ulda, because Thancred and Minfilia's stories begin in Ulda. Their whole stories are in, most of their stories are in Ulda. Then we have our big kitty cat.
This town certainly has changed, and not at all for the better.
So when he says that, he says this town has changed, and certainly not for the better. I think that's the real Thancred. I think that is the real Thancred. I think at some point we are going to get the real Thancred back, and he's going to join in on our story, because if we looked at like the way that Ulda was in that background kind of idea, is that it was still heavenly light, there's still bright lights everywhere. But what's important is that when he's saying that this town has certainly has changed, we're in a different timeline, and Thancred is acting different or being different than in this particular world. Something tells me that this is an experienced Thancred and not just one who's just like, this is his particular timeline. Why would he say this town has changed, if not for the better, if there wasn't a comparison before with the other Ulda and then this one, which I think it is. Wait, what was that? Hold on.
And not at all for the better.
I was looking right here, and that just looks like it's Gunbreaker thing. I was gonna pause because I was like, what is that? Is that like a transponder? No, it's just, okay, anyway. Cool reload. Fighting back the big porcelain cat.
I'm not going anywhere. I promise you, Minfilia.
Two things. One, confirmed, just said Minfilia, but look at her eyes. This is not like a Realm Reborn Minfilia. This is Hydaelyn, like possessed, Hydaelyn, voice of Hydaelyn, Minfilia. And I think something, and again, that's why with my timeline, I'm like, this has to be a different timeline that we are in, or a different world that we're in, that Thancred and Minfilia are here. And I don't know how that's going to play. My crazy crackpot theory is to say that we somehow talk to these two guys and they understand their different worlds, versions of Thancred and Minfilia, and that's where we get the glowing eyes. Because that's obviously some callback to her being the voice of Hydaelyn, maybe. So this just shows the Crystarium, where we the main town, it seems. I like to freeze frame to see what I can see. I didn't really see anything when I initially looked at it through earlier. Rodigan's butt. Dancer. I'm looking here in the background to see who we have. Who are the different characters? That's a cool shot. She looks right at the camera. Viera and Dancers. Kind of looks like an Ishgardian knight right there. So we go all the way up and out. And then we zoom up to the top of this crystal tower. And then right here, all these different ones, to me, these are different worlds. These are different realms that we are in. These are, each one of these are unique. They're different in their own way. These are the different timelines. And the X-Art here is like looking at each one of them.
Greater even than the seventh umbral calamity must be undone.
So this calamity greater than the seventh umbral calamity must be undone. Meaning that something has happened and it's causing an effect in all of the other timelines. That's what I think the Crystal X-Arc is doing. So I think we got called here to stop this world from dying because it's overly light. There's not enough shadow. There's not enough balance in this world. Kind of like what Hydaelyn was supposed to do, or Minfilia, as the voice of Hydaelyn, was supposed to do at the end of the Heavensward pre-patches. But something went wrong, and something isn't working right, and there's still too much light. So we have to go here and bring balance back to this world. And I think that's going to have an echo effect all the way across the board. Because then we have the cool transition. You ready? Cool Samurai. Does absolutely nothing. Get curb stomped.
History must be unwritten. Let it be unwritten.
If history is to be unwritten, let it be unwritten. So that is the only thing that has me a little questionable about us going back into time and doing things like that and time jumping, essentially, is because he was talking if history is to be unwritten, which means that we would have to go back and change something in history. Like, if we do have the ability to manipulate timelines, it wouldn't be too far-fetched for us to be like, oh, you know, let's go back before all of this happened, you know, jump in, stop this bad thing from happening, and then, you know, go back to our timeline with it all fixed. That is a possibility. I don't know. I think that's going to be too kind of confusing, because mainly we already have the Warriors of Darkness. We already have them as a plot thread that we can pull on and we can go and follow, but we also have confirmed that there are different worlds other than essentially just our world, so we'll have to see. Coolest transition right here, showing that
Become what you must.
we fall. The Dark Knight transition right there, showing that it is the only way to combat the light. Like, we have to bring balance to this world. And we literally split the sky and cause the night to be there.
Become the warrior of darkness.
And become the Warrior of Darkness. And that right there is like the big line where I'm like, that has to be like some kind of play. That has to be some kind of a ploy of us bringing balance to this world. The Warriors of Darkness had to do that, and they were like timeline jumping, collecting crystals, and doing all that stuff in an attempt to bring their own balance to their world. However, they were kind of betrayed by Urianger, who was trying to protect our world. So it was kind of like this whole, like, Urianger stopped them from doing something bad in our world, but also tried to give them something that would fix theirs. And if we're here, then that proves to me that we didn't do a good enough job, or Minfilia, as the voice of Hydaelyn, didn't do a good enough job. Cool that out. One brings excellent. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so big predictions. What I am thinking as far as where the story will go, I'm thinking that the story is going to be about us bringing balance to this particular world, and in that we may have to go and visit other versions of our world and essentially collect our friends, all of our signs, because they got called. But notice at the beginning when we got called to the Exarch's world, the world of the First, it wasn't exact. We ended up somewhere out in the wilderness. What happens if all of the scions ended up getting called, right? Each one of them got called, but they were like shotgunned somewhere else where they shouldn't be. So we have to kind of like go back and get the Scooby-Doo gang all back together to fight the light, how bright it is here in this damn world, and solve that problem. And that's going to echo across our worlds and over to our world, and essentially prevent something from happening. And I think it has to do with something with Emmett Selch, the Askian, who is currently possessing Solus Galvus. I don't know. We'll have to see. I stream.
Ta-da! People?
light on. Turn the light on. Oblivion.
is taut like a spring. Step back, two-step, 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 1, 2, 3. Machine with all of the rest, crazy, two-phase, electricity. Time turning up the volume. Time turning on us always. No time enough tomorrow. Forward turning back to where we began. 20 seconds tested. Fragments in one direction. Celestial noise detected. Delirium unsuspected. Staring into reason. Escape from destiny alone in a trance. No escaping from this waking dream. No hope for advance. You see, the mortal cohesive is not but a spring. Unwind. Too slow, too quick, too much to believe. Words of fantasy, you fail the test. Never forging on new fallacies, creating more mess to back. This brick machine with all of the rest. DC, dying, electricity. Falling back right into the system. Falling back on all that's erased. When falling back right out of the system means falling back right into disgrace. Yes, falling back right in with the system. Proceeding falling back to the end. When falling back is the system. Falling back to the system. Sounds the best.
And that takes care of this special episode of the Dawntrail Trials for Final Fantasy XIV. One job left to go, and that is Warrior. She's going to be Kahori is going to be leveling this, I believe, for the next 2 weeks. And once this is done, the Outrunner mount is hers. That's going to be a big, big occasion. When she's nearing Warrior 100, we decide to go live again for that special episode. But our next Final Fantasy XIV live stream is going to be Valentine's Day 2025. My name is Bongoboy Pongo, the gift that keeps on giving. If you like what you see in this broadcast, hit the follow button, Twitch player, subscribe button on YouTube, and on my channel ID Bongoboy151. Our next live stream that is going to be scheduled is going to be next week. Star Rail Misadventures is going to be taking place. We'll be kicking off the first story. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring the Herta home. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. It's bye for now. Good night.